And it's saying starting live video. So hopefully it will. Oh, now it says we're live. Good
Oh, and
morning,
it's Brian.
everyone. My
Good
name is
morning.
Amy Hahn, and I'm a Knox County. Oh, this is Gardening Tips Live. My name is Amy Hahn, and I'm a Knox County Master Gardener. And I'm joined by my friends and fellow Master Gardeners, Lee Cheek, Margot Emery, and Brian Townsend, who's joining us from Dixie Lee Farmers Market. And we're getting this pinned to the top of the group. Let's see, pinned to featured. And then I'm going to go and get it pinned to the top of featured so that everyone can find us. Because it really is nice to be found.
Amen.
Findable. Yes, I once was lost, but now I'm found in more ways than one.
Amen.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Oh, I'm hearing me. More ways than one. Okay.
Amen.
Let me get where I can see the comments, and you might hear me talking for a moment. I'm not there yet. But if you are watching live, be sure to let us know you're there by commenting on the post.
April already has.
Oh, good morning, April. The post. There.
Mm.
And I'm going to do the @everyone thing. Some people might
I just did it for you.
notification twice. I think different people, when they do that, it shows it to different people.
Oh, okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
Because there is a level of not transparency with Facebook. But it is the best platform for this that we know of, and so it's a beautiful one. What we're going with for now. If we find a better way to do this, we might switch, but right now we don't know of one. But we do enjoy joining you every week and getting to talk gardening. What do you guys think about the weather this week?
Oh, let it stay.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so we've talked about before the weather usually does this switch over during the fair. It goes from mornings being in like the 70s to mornings being in the 50s.
Hot and sweaty.
Yeah, right. And it feels like it did it 3 weeks early this year.
And
I fear it's not going to hang around.
Yeah.
AccuWeather is saying that we're getting another cool cold front coming in this next week.
Yeah, I was looking at the weather, and it's like the morning temperatures were a little bit higher. They were in the 60s. And then the next week it's going to be in the 50s.
Yep.
And it's like, that's not normal. And Brian's looking at a notebook or something. I'm not even sure.
And a sunscreen, sunshade.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, is that your sunshade? Okay. So you're putting it up so that you won't get glared on as much. Okay.
And I want my phone getting all hot and sweaty and everything.
Yeah, make sure your phone is on your side of the sunscreen thing.
Oh, that would help tremendously.
Yeah, or you'll just be a blob.
You do normally.
Oh, April likes the heat of summer. Hi, Brenda. Glad you're here with us. If you all have any gardening questions, I know I've seen April posting a lot in the group, some really lovely pictures of what's going on in her garden recently. But if you have any questions, what is it? Feel free to post them because we love to hear from you all and give you answers. And if you want to catch us in person, we are periodically at different markets. Well, Brian is the what is it? Farmers Market champion.
Yes.
Oh, I've been called other things, but yeah, I guess so.
Knox County Master Gardeners. He's actually at 3 different farmers markets every week. On Saturday mornings, he's at Tellico Village Farmers Market.
On Wednesday mornings.
Oh, Saturday morning is Dixon Lee Farmers
Right.
Market.
And
Sorry.
then Tellico Village is on Wednesday mornings, and then we're doing Pavilion Farmers Market in Hardin Valley on Thursday evening.
Right. And that is a shaded
Yes, yes.
place. So I know it's not as much an issue right now that the temperature's cooled down a little bit, but it's not as hot as some of the
Right.
other afternoon markets.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because I know once a month I'm at Ebenezer Farmers Market with a Master Gardener table, and it is very hot during the summer.
Owie. Yeah.
But well, let's talk. I do have a slideshow, and another thing I don't want to forget is we were going to start the like a photo contest for your summer photos this week. So we will get that going today. And I want to tell you I'll tell you a little bit later about how the photo contest works. Okay, but let me go ahead and start the slideshow. There are some of my photos and some of Lee's photos. We've been watching this little lady. This is a mourning dove who has decided to nest in this 5-inch pot on my plant shelf on my patio, which it isn't screened in or anything. I think this is her 4th clutch this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I did read that they can do as many as 6 a year. And it's mourning doves. And we're seeing the young mourning doves around. They're a little bit, their necks are skinnier. They just look different than the adults. And they always have this really cute, dorky look. But that's just mourning doves. And I think that most of those pigeons just have that look to them. But if you have a place for mourning doves to live, they're just a funny bird to watch. They really are. I haven't seen them cause any problems, though occasionally, if I have like leafy greens where they can get them, they will sort of tatter them up a little bit,
Yep.
trying to look for bugs. But they really don't do much plant damage.
No, no. I used to have multiple stations in my backyard for bird feeders, wild bird seed mix and black oil sunflower, and those mourning doves will light on me. They'll be on my shoulder, or if I'm holding the feeder up, they'll be resting on my elbow or my arm.
Oh,
And I have pictures of that.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Ann. Glad you can join us. If you have any gardening questions, we'll try to answer them here. Just put them in the comments. Okay, Lee, this is yours.
Yeah, this is my basil. I had cut it almost all the way back in at the end of July, and it went nuts.
Cool.
So I cut it again back again yesterday to give to a friend who wanted to use basil in one of her salads. And anyway, so I'm going to be interesting to see here in another month if I have another huge flush of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? At the Herb Spiral at UT Gardens, I'm one of the folks that helps take care of that. We always do a basil sort of demo area with a whole bunch of different varieties of basil. And most years we go every couple weeks and cut it back to keep it from going to the flower. It was so hot this year, we actually didn't get that done. So most of the basil has gone to flower, and we were there yesterday working. Lee was helping us with that. And we were like, there's one kind of basil we're not seeing in our mix. And so I went hunting. And so on the right here, you can see these burgundy flowers. That's cinnamon basil or Mexican basil. And on the left, gone to flower, is large leaf Italian basil. And then if you look in the middle here, you can see these plants, these ones here, that are a little bit smaller leaves. There's like 5 plants in a row here that you can barely see tucked between those. I did trim off some of the cinnamon basil. So if you go and look for it, you can see it now. But this is actually a basil that it hasn't flowered yet. It's a different variety, and it's called Emerald Towers, and it's a really nice basil, but it's real easy to take care of and grows real vertical.
Yeah. Miss
So,
Amy,
yeah.
I'm curious if some of our listeners are curious about when you say basil going to flower and what significance that might be, but also how do we cure that right there?
Okay, so when the basil goes to flowering, like these big flowering stalks here, when it does that, the flavor gets a lot more harsh and not as
Yeah.
pleasant.
Right.
So when you can tell when it's starting to go to flower. I'm trying to find one that'll show
Yeah.
it, and I'm not seeing one. You actually see little like stacks of squares
Right. Yeah.
in the tips of the leaves, where it's called the apical meristem, which is the growing point at the tip. And you'll see those little triangles of leaves that are really
If you want to
tiny
go back to my picture,
squares.
I
Oh,
think
do you
I,
can see?
I had one that was just starting.
Okay, we can
Uh,
see it in here.
yeah, I don't know if I got a
Right.
good enough picture, but there was on the
Is it this
upper
or up?
right, there was one that was just starting to a square that was just starting.
Yeah, let's.
If you've never seen it before, it looks like origami. It's so precise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't quite see it in these.
No,
There it is.
there's
Yeah.
one.
You
Yeah.
see where it's starting to get a
Mhm.
little fluffy. And if you look from the top, it's really square.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How those little leaves are arranged. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can tell it. And what you do is to prevent it from flowering and the flavor changing, if you catch it at this stage, you can pinch it back right here
Mm-hmm.
and just nip that off, and it'll keep growing, but that'll delay the flowering.
Did you
Right.
see Annie's question?
Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, making coffee. Do you think coffee grounds are good to add by blueberries? Um, they're not going to hurt, but one of the things I've found with coffee grounds is unless you sort of scratch them into the soil, they tend to crust over when it gets
Yes.
dry.
Yeah.
They'll actually repel water. So
I used, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
I used coffee grounds a lot for the blueberries I was growing by the foundation of my house. And what I learned from research is that the acid that you want for the blueberries tends to leave the grounds and go into what you're drinking. So the grounds that are left behind are really not all that acidic in terms of being a beneficial source of acid for blueberries.
Okay.
Right.
So you'd really be adding organic matter, which is good,
Absolutely.
but it won't take care of the acid issue. So that is, yeah. So if you're going to add them, just scratch them in. They shouldn't hurt anything. And they will add organic matter. But if you just put them on top, they tend to really crust over and then
Right.
repel water.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that can
Yes.
be a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the herb spiral. And this is
Miss
another,
Amy,
yeah.
on the herb spiral right there and talking about the basil,
Yes.
I would like folks to know that if they did let their basil go to flower, and it's changed the flavor of the leaves right there, if
Mhm.
they cut it back, like maybe about 2/3, and
Uh-huh.
then let new growth come in there, that new growth will have the flavor that they want.
Oh, okay. So it'll have good flavor again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
possible.
wasn't sure
Yeah.
if it was
It
just a permanent changeover or
It's
Okay.
all the existing leaves at that time when it goes to flower right there. But you can cut it back, like I say, 3/4, 2/3, 3/4, and the new leaves that grow from there will be like the original.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and this is the herb spiral. It's pretty tall. If you go to UT Gardens and go past the vegetable garden area, you'll see it. And they've redone around it, and it's going to be really nice, but it really is, you can tell it's a bit under construction. But I took this picture to show we've got marjoram in there, which is another really nice herb. And all this stuff is actually the seeds, the flower heads that have gone to seed. And the plant itself is really about here. So let me see. You can't really see it in the photo well, but I don't know if you can tell there's a little bit darker green. And then this lighter green is actually its seed capsules, or I'm not sure what they call it for marjoram. But probably next time we're out there, we're going to cut those pieces off because for the purposes of the herb spiral, we really don't want it to seed itself all over in there.
Right.
Because then we'll have an herb spiral of marjoram. We also cut off the seed heads of garlic chives. And some of these are, well, these are black-eyed Susans, and we'll cut some of those off too. We leave some for the birds, but if there's too many, they really try to take over. And that doesn't just apply to the herb spiral, it would apply to your garden too. You know, some herbs are very good at making seed, and so they can take over areas. One plant that I've dealt with in the past that I see recommended for raised beds and gardenings is gosh, now I can't think of it. Purple flowers. They taste like cucumber. Um,
Borage or lovage?
Borage.
Okay, borage.
Borage. Yes. Um, and they recommend it for vegetable gardens, but they don't tell you the plant gets like 2 to 3 feet in diameter and it actively reseeds itself. And so it can really become a problem in a vegetable garden. If you have a huge
Oh,
garden, maybe not, but
when when you said 2 or 3 feet wide in the vegetable garden, I thought you were talking about me.
no, not you.
Nah.
Oh, I gotta unzoom before I can go to the next picture. Okay. If you still have cucumber plants going, they probably look something like this. Mine are really rough right now, but I'm still getting a few cucumbers, actually a couple cucumbers a day. I do have a 16-foot row, so that's quite a lot. But you can see this cucumber here. It's a little bit odd shaped, so I have a couple in there. We really do love fresh cucumbers. I see this one coming nicely right here. So, you can leave it. I'm probably going to leave it till the end of the season. I have seen um, more squash bugs and leaf-footed bugs than I had earlier in the season. So they're really impacting it. And this is downy mildew that's causing the discoloration of the leaves. And it's cucurbit downy mildew. It doesn't, I have beans planted close by. It's a species that it's not going to transfer to the beans. The beans have their own mildews.
Yeah.
Amy, do you ever trim your leaves back to prevent downy mildew?
I have sometimes. This year, I'm doing good to get things harvested. So you do what you can, and um, I'll try to pull these down and get them in the compost before the season's over. Um, I do a long composting process, and from what I understand, um, it is something that's pretty endemic here, and there's really nothing you can do. I am glad this year there's one pest I have not seen so far, that we've had in previous years, and it's called the pickle worm, which actually comes up from Florida, and they lay their eggs on cucumbers, and you end up with little caterpillars in your cucumbers, which no one really wants. And I'm thankful I haven't seen those at all this year. So that's really nice. Okay, let's see. This is my tomato plants. They look really sad at the bottom, but if you look here, you can see lots of tomatoes, and the other side has just as many tomatoes. And so I have my little top knots of tomatoes. Um, I could have, through the season, removed all the damaged leaves. I've been having back issues this year, so I'm doing good to just get it picked this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
And
Miss Amy, one
yes.
thing you've been alluding to here with your garden and stuff like
Mhm.
that, I know you're very good at maintaining that right there. But just as you've mentioned here a couple of times, some things just get out of hand. And what I try to encourage people is not to grow too big a garden just because you see other people doing it. You should start small and then build up as you're comfortable with it, depending on whatever your lifestyle, work, and everything else is involved.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, you have to consider your life. And I do find just about everyone is ready to chuck gardening um, end of July, beginning of August for a while.
yeah, yeah. But
But
we don't want people to get discouraged and
right,
I'm thinking they just give up. And
mhm,
no, they don't have to do that. Yeah,
right. And I will
Right.
tell you, these are a hybrid tomato that has lots of disease resistance. The ones I planted that did not have a lot of disease resistance are barely hanging on or have died already. So I do plant a combination of open pollinated plants, heirloom plants, and hybrid plants um, to ensure that I get a good crop. There are some heirlooms I plant because I love the flavor, but I'm very sure I won't get a fall crop out of them. I might be able to plant in early July and, do a second planting, but I've never actually done that. So don't feel bad if your plants didn't make it through
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
If you were planting plants that didn't have good disease resistance, which a lot of what's sold doesn't, but that's not a bad thing. There's reasons to plant those.
Well, I'm happy with my bowl full of tomatoes every day.
Yeah. And some people love cherry tomatoes, and everyone has different goals for theirs. I'm thinking next year I'm probably not going to plant as many cucumbers as I did this year because I sort of have felt cucumber overload. I have
Uh-oh.
learned, I have learned some things. Cucumbers are really great in a stir fry.
Oh, nice.
They're really good cooked. Um, and so I'm going to use them. I'm using them that way. And so that goes through a lot more cucumbers. Well, I have a lot of pickles pickled, and so, but I
Well,
do still
you
have
also
cucumbers.
have a friend who eats 2 cucumbers a day.
Yes, but I haven't seen her a lot this summer, and so, she lives a half an hour away from me.
Ollie.
So, that makes it hard to get cucumbers to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I What is it? Early in the season, I had a major gardener failure in my planting my peppers. I planted them, and then we had a really dry week, and I didn't water them. And 3 of the 14 peppers that I planted survived. And so
Yay.
this is one of them. This is lemon spice jalapeno, and it is a really nice jalapeno plant. It does have a little bit of spice, but it's not extreme. And so it's the heat level I like. and they're not huge jalapenos, but they're really nice for pepper poppers. Yeah, they're one bite pepper pop. Well, they're probably 2 bite pepper poppers, not 4 bite pepper poppers.
Uh-oh.
It would be a lot to pop them into your mouth all at once. But I'm actually getting some fruit off of it, and so I'm really pleased. This right here that you can see has turned brown is actually a ground cherry, which is another. It's in the tomato family. It's considered more of a fruit than a vegetable because they're more sweet. And I planted them with the intention and hope that they would continue to just volunteer in my garden, and they do. Um, they're a little under the paper. There's a bright orange. It looks like a baby little cherry tomato, and they're really quite sweet when they're ripe. And they're my gardener's treat plants. So I don't really harvest many of them because it really is a nuisance to peel the paper off of all of these little, they're tiny, like ½ inch is about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch is about as big as they get. And so it takes a lot to do anything with, but I really enjoy them in the garden. And so they are a fun plant to have. If you're okay with a little bit of serendipity, some people call it chaos. Um, oh, this is another thing I was going to talk about. So this is my red bud. It's looking a little faded. These seed pods in it means I'm going to have red bud seedlings coming up all over the place. There's not a whole lot you can do about that, but I wanted to use this to talk about. So from a distance, it looks really nice, has good leaf coverage. Now, some of the trees behind it are sad, but that's those trees. But if you look close, there's spotting on the leaves. This time of the year, that kind of spotting is very normal. It is probably a fungal spotting. Don't you think, Brian?
Um,
Let's see. It's got
okay, yeah, right, right,
that little bullseye look.
right.
So that would be just a fungal spotting. It is really common on many different plants this time of year.
Those leaves will drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you don't need to do anything about it. We're seeing people talking about having that on their hydrangeas, and lots of different plants, trees and shrubs. This time of year, it's pretty normal given our weather, the weather that we have here, our heat and humidity combo. Um, so you don't need to do anything about it.
Um,
And you don't need to do anything special with the leaves.
and it's also that's not because you did something wrong. That's not the
Right.
case at all.
Yeah, it's normal for this season. So what I'm saying is don't worry about it. If you see this in May, you might have a problem.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you see that kind of spotting in May or even June, early June, you might have a problem. But when you're seeing it end of August into September, really probably any time in August, you don't, there's nothing you need to do. It's just
Right.
the normal progression of the leaves moving toward falling.
Right.
Okay. Oh, this is Sochan, green-headed coneflower, which is a really cool native plant around here that we've talked about before. And it is one of the ones that's important to the Cherokees. And I think there is a creature on this. Is that a creature or is that, nope, that's just a, um, what is it, seed pod from it. But these are a pretty one. This one actually was cut back a couple times, and so that's why it's so small. It's about the flowers that are about at 2 feet, where if it weren't cut back, the flowers would be closer to 10 feet.
Oh,
Let's see, Ann, is it Annie? Asked, are these the same as cut leaf coneflower? Yes. It's got several different names: green-headed coneflower, cut leaf coneflower, sochan, and I think there's about 5 other names for it. So,
And I just saw people love to eat the greens. I didn't know that.
yes, the greens, I have tried them in the early spring and they're really nice in early spring. I mean, I would go for these instead of spinach for sure because they're tastier and they're real tender. This time of year, as you get further into the season, they get more of that aster taste. There's a flavor that aster family plants have. Um, and you see it, there's some chrysanthemums that are used in the Japanese culture that have that flavor. I've had it um, somewhere. Maybe I grew it one year. But there's a certain flavor that some people like and some people don't. And so I don't think I particularly like the older leaves, but I did like the new leaves a lot. And you do
I
have,
would go
yeah, go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Miss Amy.
You do have to make sure that this is really what you have. And so
Yes.
oftentimes you need to wait till it flowers, though the leaf is pretty distinctive on this. Go ahead,
Yep.
Brian.
Okay, one of the things you were just speaking of here last couple of minutes right there, uh, and that's a variety of things that you like to experiment with. Give them a try and see if you like them for the flowers or for eating or whatever else, and that is okay. And say you grow this for one season and you're just kind of disappointed.
Hmm.
Okay, move on to another one right there.
Right. You
Yeah,
have the shovel.
right.
Another warning about this is if you do let it develop seed, let it flower and seed, it does reseed itself very easily and prolifically. So if you're a person who wants a tightly controlled garden, this might not be the plant for you.
Right.
If you're okay with things being, I sort of have I have a lot of wild corners in my garden, but um, if you're okay with that or even really enjoy that, this would be a good plant for you.
Oh,
So,
you could share some seeds.
yes, I could share some seeds. I know I gave away some. I might have to try to collect some. I haven't collected any this year, but they're not ready yet. Uh,
Is anybody doing any seed swaps for fall?
I haven't heard of any fall seed swaps.
I
I
thought
know
somebody
there's
posted
quite
to
a
our Facebook group.
few. Hmm?
Someone posted to our Facebook group about a seed swap. I didn't
Oh,
read
okay.
into it.
I saw something about a pawpaw seed swap. A pawpaw.
That's it. That's probably
Yeah,
it right there.
I
Yeah.
saw that, but I don't think that's a general seed swap. And if I
Okay.
weren't committed to something that day, I would go to that because I think pawpaws are really interesting. Okay. Um, did you know we had a native poinsettia plant?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this
I
is
love those things right there.
they're so cool. It is an annual, and I think if you have a really improved garden, it's another one of those that will seed itself and could become a nuisance.
Yes.
Um, I have it in some of my more wild areas toward the back of my yard, and it's just really cool to see this thing that looks like a poinsettia, popping up in the summer. And so
What's its botanical name? Do you know? I'm trying to find a
it's
resource
a
about
euphorbia.
it. Okay, I see that.
Yeah, but it is native to our area. And so it's a really, just it came to me. I did not intentionally plant it, and it's something that makes me smile when I see it.
It's also called Fire on the Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, there's other things called fire on the mountain. That's Because
And
I
and
wonder,
Mexican fire plant.
yeah. And so, yeah, be careful with common names.
Yes. Now we have those in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, you have those,
Uh,
or do you
oh
have the?
yeah, oh yeah. They are very much active down there.
Now, do
The
you have
nursery I worked at, volunteered at, we had those coming up underneath the plant benches.
okay, so the native poinsettia, not
Yes,
the perennial one,
right.
that they sell. The one that they sell as a Christmas plant is a perennial poinsettia, but in our climate, it's really hard to get it to reflower.
You can get that.
Actually,
You
those
can
aren't the
get those.
flowers.
Yeah. The poinsettia that you talk about, the Christmas plant right there. If we have the climate for it, which we did back in San Antonio, that thing can grow bigger than your house. It becomes
Whoa,
it
that's
becomes a
crazy.
tree. It becomes a tree.
And one of the cool botanical things about it is, we talk about the red part being the flower.
Hmm.
Actually, it's these are probably the flower buds getting ready to
Right.
open.
Yes.
These little guys in the center, and these are just bracts of leaves that just have interesting color.
Sounds like me.
Oh, Brian. Okay. So, can you see the insect in this picture? I,
No.
no, I wouldn't have seen it unless I saw it land. But there is actually a dragonfly. Can you see its body right here?
There you go. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and you can see a little bit of its wing there. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
They are so well camouflaged when they are on these dry plant stems. This was actually at the herb spiral at UT Gardens. But I've seen dragonflies like this at my house too. Our neighbor has a pond actually. And so the dragonflies enjoy that. But yeah, he landed there, he or she, I'm not sure. And just I was able to snap a picture and thought I'd share it with you all. Okay. Last week I shared a picture or the week before, I shared some black swallowtail caterpillars. Well, I was looking around on my deck and saw this. This is the chrysalis. And so they'll stay in this chrysalis. So this is the black swallowtail chrysalis that the caterpillars turn into, and it'll stay there all winter. And in the spring, it'll hatch out into the black and blue butterfly,
Huh.
the black swallowtail. And what initially I thought caterpillars stayed near the plant that they ate to make their chrysalises. And then I did some watching and then I did some research to see if what I was seeing was really what was happening. They actually go away from their host plant before they turn into a chrysalis.
Huh.
And so, like if you have milkweeds with monarch butterflies, it's very unlikely for the monarch chrysalis to be on the milkweed. It'll go somewhere else where it feels safe, and then it'll shed its skin and become the chrysalis. Which, there are videos about that. It's really cool seeing a caterpillar shed its skin and then it becomes a chrysalis. I've actually seen that in person once. Okay.
But if I shed my skin, can I become a butterfly?
No,
Yeah.
that would be a mess. Okay, and there's passion flower vine with a bumblebee just really tucked under there. All these holes in it, that is very likely to be holes caused by slugs and snails. Um, and on this kind of plant, I'm not going to worry about that at all. Okay, this is a really cool looking moth I saw, and I looked it up, and it says it's an oakworm moth, which totally makes sense as we regularly get striped oakworm caterpillars on our oak tree. And they're important food for the birds, and any birds that have chicks right now will be really searching for food for their chicks. And so these caterpillars, the caterpillars of this moth, um, are really important. I'm not absolutely sure this isn't, the ones we get are the orange striped oakworm, and the moth looks very similar to this, so it's pretty likely that's what this is. Let's see, this is at Lee's house.
Yeah, this is tiger swallowtail.
Zoom in.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So it was being very, very pretty.
Mhm.
And it had opens. A lot of butterflies don't want to open their wings for you to take a picture, except when they're flitting around. So it was very nice of it to stay open for me.
Yeah, it posed for you.
It posed for me, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then I got a monarch.
Yeah, that's more exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I have a lot of milkweed in my pollinator garden. Yep. And that it I had a couple of monarchs a couple of days, and there's one where it opens its wings for me.
And if you know your plants, you're noticing they're not on the milkweed.
No, they're getting their nectar, so they can fly on.
Hmm.
Um,
yep.
but
Yeah,
yeah, if they're gonna lay their eggs, they're gonna lay it on my milkweed. Yeah.
right. Yeah, they lay eggs on the milkweed, but the adults need the pollen and the nectar.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
But one of the interesting things this spring I found was there was a monarch going around, and it wasn't landing on any of the flowers,
Hmm.
but it was landing on the leaves, and I think it was looking for my milkweed to lay its eggs because
I
it
hope it
wasn't landing
found
on any
it.
of the flowers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, little skipper on zinnias.
Hmm.
I like zinnias because uh they reseed themselves every year,
Hmm.
and all the pollinators love them. And
Yeah, I find the butterflies really love them
yeah,
too.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's our last photo. So I'm going to stop sharing if I can figure out how to do it because they've changed. There you go. Okay. Oh, so that was our slideshow for today. And so I was going to talk a little bit about how we do our photo contests because we were going to start one unless someone's got another thing to talk about.
Let's, last night, Miss Amy, I felt led, because it's cooler weather, to write about season extenders.
Yeah.
So, there's different kind of methods, and I shared a number of different photos, uh, temporary ones as far as more permanent ones. Um, but cold frames all the way up to little greenhouses. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get this post open here because
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and share my screen. This is about, I'm going to share the spring photo contest that we had so you can see how it works. And I will get our fall photo contest posted soon. So you will see a post that looks a lot like this one pretty soon. And so it'll say, you know, I'm not sure I'm going to put it's been a long time since we had a photo contest. I'll probably put it's time for a photo contest. And so to submit your pictures, you put them in the comments, and horizontal pictures like this one actually work much better than vertical pictures if you want to submit a photo. And to vote, you go in and you like the photo that you are voting for. So that is how you vote. And so whatever photo gets the most votes becomes the photo contest winner, and the winner becomes our the banner that's the group photo that's on the group.
Right.
Does it make sense? So last time it was, let me see if I can find their picture. I got to view more comments because I know it's here because they're the ones that won the photo contest. And it's not that.
And it was the butterfly one.
Yeah, a little small butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
There it
There
is.
it is. Yeah.
And so that got the most votes. And so it became our group photo for the season. What is it? We typically do a couple a year. They're not really scheduled, but it's really fun for everyone to be able to put their favorite photos from the season in and everyone to get to vote for them. And
Right.
so I will get that posted a few minutes after we're done with this. And so be sure to enter your favorite photos, and we will announce the winner. Do we want to give it 2 weeks for people to do it, or just 1 week?
That's a
Um,
good question.
Yeah. Did you have a question? Or is that a good, did you say it's a good question?
I said it's a good question. Brian was about to say something.
oh,
Oh,
I think I burped out loud.
oh no. Let's go ahead and do it 2 weeks. Next week is the Tennessee Valley Fair, starts on Friday next week. And
Yep.
so if you come to the fair, be sure to come and say hi to me and Brian. Brian will be, we're there most of the time, but not all the time. And I am there actually less than Brian, but um, I would be at the Kerr building.
Oh, you'll be at the Jacobs building.
I'll be at, gosh, I'm just confused today. Yes, I will.
I will be at the Kerr building. And we
Brian
have
will be at the
signs.
Kerr building.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will be at
And
the
we have,
Jacob building,
yeah. And we
second
have
floor.
signs that say, if we are not at our post right there, please visit us at the other one, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta find them. I'm not sure where they ended up last year.
Oh,
Last year,
Howie.
but I think I know where they are. But
Okay.
I'll find those, and so we can have those to post when we're not at the locations.
Yep.
And I know at the Jacob building, we'll have at least 1 or 2 games for you to play. I'm not sure what the prizes are going to be at this point. Last year, we were able to get donated seed packets. Have not been able to get those this year, so I don't know what we'll have as far as prizes.
I could make seed packets of Cosmos if you want.
Hmm, that's a possible. Yeah.
But if you're at the fair, go by for those games because they were so popular last year. People had fun with them.
Yes. So we're gonna have some games, and I have an idea for a new game, but I haven't put it together yet. So I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not sure it's going to happen. But we have one game where you're figuring out what the insects are, and then we have another game for younger kids. That's what is the vegetable. And so, hopefully you can come by and
Do you
play
make the
our games
kids
with.
eat the vegetable?
Well, we don't have any vegetables to eat there. And if you come up and see us at the Jacob building, you can see the giant pumpkins because we're
Yep.
generally diagonal across from them, and we're near where they do the vegetable contests. And so you can see those too. Also, if you want to enter in the vegetable contest, I think the time to bring your vegetables is on Thursday before the fair starts, unless you're a senior, and then you can bring them on Tuesday. You can go to the Tennessee Valley Fair competitions, and you'll see the listings for what to do. All the plants, well, there's the flower show that has all the times and dates that you need to bring different things if you're entering them. And for the vegetables, that's listed under horticulture. So if you're interested in looking at those are the places to look for those things. Um, was that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get the photo contest posted later today, and then we will have that going, and that's always really fun. And if you're
I
going to
wanted
enter into the fair competitions, that's always really fun too.
Before we wrap up, and we've got a few more minutes, I wanted to circle back to something Brian had shared earlier when we were looking at the gardening images that maybe if you're starting out, and probably people watching this show are not starting out, but it's advice you might share with others. Maybe don't try to grow so many different things. Focus in on several, a few, and then next year add some more. I think we didn't get that expressed as clearly as you normally do, Brian, but that's your meaning. Don't go on an overload of planting lots of
Right.
different things.
Yes.
Learn how to
Yes.
grow a few well. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes. 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 Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's good. I mean, a lot of times we'll hear from people who are just starting or just wanting to do their first garden. And what I tell them, what I advise them to do is to pick 2 or 3 different things that they like to eat,
Right.
um, and do a little research, figure out, does that need to be planted in the spring or in the summer or in the fall? Is it a cool season or a warm season plant? Those are the 2 big distinctions there. Um, if it's a plant that you plant from a transplant, like a tomato or a pepper, buy your transplants. Don't try to start those from seed the first year.
Right.
Um, but if it's one that's recommended to be started from seed, go ahead and start it from seed because you'll have better results. The other thing to do is don't just plant one plant. Plant 3 to 5 plants depending on what it is. Um, so if it's like a tomato or cucumber, you would want to plant 3. If it's beans, you probably want to plant 5 or 10 because you don't get very much from each plant. Um, but the reason for that is sometimes you have a dud plant. And even if you do everything right, it never produces. I have had plants that I've started from seed, myself, and I'll start, a couple of that same variety, and I'll have one of them that makes no fruit at all. And I don't know why. There was probably something genetically wrong with it, but there was no way I could have known looking at it. And so that just sometimes happens with plants. And if you plant one plant and it does bad, you think it's you doing something wrong.
Right.
You don't think it's the plant that's the problem. So don't just plant one plant. Plant at least 3, um, and plant things you like to eat.
Right.
And as you progress in gardening, the first year I gardened, I planted tomatoes, beans, and something else. I think peppers, and the peppers failed absolutely. But I got some tomatoes and I got some beans.
But you learned from it.
I learned a lot from it, and I didn't plant peppers for a couple years, and then I planted peppers again and they did fine. So, sometimes you don't do well growing something and then you don't know what's changed, but then you can grow it. I've definitely had that happen.
But
Yep.
also don't grow the same thing in the same spot every year.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Crop rotation.
Yeah, crop rotation can be helpful. Has to do with pest and disease problems and nutrient use in the soil. Also, do a soil test.
Yes.
If you're starting out, um, there are nutrient deficiencies that you can have that are hard that you can't see. And if you send in a soil test for $15, you could find out if you have a significant problem that you need to deal with. Oh, I'm looking here and I realized I brought something in to show everyone. This is my lima beans that I'm growing. And so I brought some green ones and some, but they're doing really well this year. And so these ones, when you open them up, did I show these last time? They're red
You
inside.
did, but they're cool, so we're happy to see
Oh,
them
cool.
again.
Okay. I didn't show any green ones. Let me see how the green ones are harder to open. And I don't know if these might be too small. Gosh, they are hard to open. Oh yeah, I think these are too small. Look at those.
Yeah. Howie.
They're just teeny. I had read that the green lima bean. Now these ones are bumpy. This one. So I think this pod might be better. And I think it's going to open easier. Oh, look. They're starting to turn pink. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. So these are
Aw.
red lima beans, red pole lima beans. And they are just growing beautifully this year. I think I will grow them on my trellises again. But they're just a fun, well, I love them like in soups, and I save them as dry beans, and they're really easy. And they also give me some shade in the vegetable garden because they just grow such an abundant canopy. But I just thought I'd bring those in and show those. I really don't have anything else. Does anyone else have anything else?
We've got the farmers garden, farmers places going at farmers markets. We've posted a link to enter competitions at the fair. We've talked about the photo contest and
Yeah.
folks enter your photos. We want lots of entries.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's it for today. Glad you
Oh,
glad we could be here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Watch
Brian.
the weather.
Yeah,
Watch the
watch the
weather. We got
weather.
up and down, cools, moderate weather, but we're also got increased rain chances coming up in a couple of days.
Oh, we could definitely use rain. We're a little bit dry here.
Labor Day is the first one, but it's only like about a 20% or 40% chance of rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So water this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, water, and particularly if you have container plants, really keep an eye on the water.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And water in the morning.
right.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you can. Try not to get leaves wet. I feel like we say these things a lot.
They're
And,
important. That's why
and
we say them a lot.
but if
Right.
you come to the fair or any of the farmers markets that we're at, be sure to come and say hi. We
Yes.
love to see you and hear from you. And happy gardening, everyone. And I am going to stop the live stream.